It was in a small town in Ontario, Canada, about 150 years ago. A man carrying a saw walked by two businessmen talking by the roadside. One of the businessmen said, "Now, that is a man who is happy with his lots in life. I wish I could know his joy. Perhaps I can get him to cut my winter's supply of wood." "I know that man," replied the other. "He would not cut your firewood. He cuts wood only for the financially destitute and for those who are physically handicapped and cannot cut their own firewood." "What sort of man is that?" says the first businessman. "Why will he work and would not want to get paid?" "That's his own choice," replied the other. You know, experience is not what happens to a man. It is what a man does with what happens to him.
Hello friends! Welcome to another interesting edition of my thoughts on sacred hymns. My name is Samson Oladoshuebe. Today I will be sharing my thoughts on the hymn "What a Friend We Have in Jesus," written by Joseph Scriven. But before I share my thoughts, I want us to learn one particular lesson from the life of Joseph Scriven, who is our hymn writer today. Joseph Scriven had a lot of challenges in his life, but in all, he made sure that his faith in Christ was strong enough to carry him through. Upon his graduation, Joseph Scriven took up a teaching job, and he loved to teach children, most especially. He fell in love with this very beautiful damsel, and they planned to get married and settle in his hometown. But unfortunately, tragedy struck. His fiancée drowned a day before their wedding. So sad. Very devastated and dejected, Joseph had to leave his hometown and travel far away to Canada to reside there. Over time, he got over the pains and he started living his life all over again. He fell in love again to yet another beautiful damsel named Eliza Rice. And they had plans. They also had plans to get married. But again, tragedy struck. Few weeks to their wedding day, Eliza Rice took ill and died. Joseph Scriven had no choice but to turn his faith onto Jesus Christ through prayer and Bible study. Joseph Scriven took a vow of poverty, that is to give all his possessions out to the physically handicapped and financially destitute. He made a vow to always help them, and that informed our story at the beginning of this video. He is the young woodcutter who likes to cut wood for those who could not pay him. And this was the life of Joseph. Joseph Scriven wrote the hymn, "What a Friend We Have in Jesus," as a story of his life in 3 short verses. He said at the end of writing this hymn, and I quote, "The Lord and I together wrote this song."
Happy trials and temptations, travel anywhere. We should never be discouraged. We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer.
Okay, so here are my thoughts on this hymn. Number 1, the hymn emphasizes that Jesus Christ is our only true friend. You know, when you have a friend, you will always want to talk to this friend of yours. You always want to go out to enjoy with your friend. You share secrets with your friend. But guess what? This hymn reminds us that the only true friend you can ever have is Jesus, because he will always have your back. Jesus is not a kind of friend that spills secrets. Jesus is not a kind of friend that backbites. He is the only true friend that you can talk to, that you can share anything with at any time, and he will be ready to have your back. Number 2, the hymn emphasizes the need for prayer. Prayer is our medium of communication to God. And anytime you communicate with him, he is ready to hear you. And don't forget, Jesus said he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. Now, once you take Jesus as your friend, you have the privilege to communicate with God, because the communication line are always open with your friend. Number 3, the hymn also tells us that there are some unnecessary pressure we give ourselves by bearing needless pains and losing our rest, our peace, all because we do not take it to God in prayer, all because we do not take Jesus as our friend. Jesus also said in the Bible that, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavily laden, and I will give you rest." So rest is assured in as much as we take Jesus as our friend. Okay, so on a final note, I want to put it to you. Who are your friends? How do you relate with your friends? Have you been disappointed by your friends before? Why not take Jesus as your best friend? You can talk to him about anything and everything. So just take him as your friend, and you will never ever regret the decision. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. These are my thoughts on the hymn, "What a Friend We Have in Jesus." I would also like you to share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And please give a thumbs up for this video. Thank you very much for staying up till now. I really, really appreciate you. God bless you all.
What a friend we